Hello and welcome to another box opening with the boys. Today we've got a special one for you. Little Father's Day gift, little birthday present. Commander Legends collector booster box. That's right, and some promo packs. We got Strixhaven foil, Strixhaven normal, Kaldheim promo, Kaldheim normal. We'll probably open these at the end of the stream, so I'll set them off to the side here. And with that, we'll go ahead and get this collector booster box open and start ripping packs. There is there's no box topper in these boxes like the Zendikar Rising collector booster boxes, which is kind of a bummer. You get a little added value with that. Alright, here's the first boy.
Hola. Starting off with our first pack. We got a dragon with fire breathing. So, first card is Skywalker Giant, Skyraker Giant, Filigree Familiar. When it dies, no, when it enters, gain 2. When it dies, draw. Phyrexian Rager. Fall from Favor, the Prismatic Piper, Monstrous Onslaught, Moldolfer,
Drifter.
Moldrifter, Imanti Celebrant of Bounty.
That one's fun.
So 5 mana Cascade. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 6 or greater have Cascade, aka Insane in the Membrane. Cascade right there. Yearlock of Scorched Thrash. Vigilance, a player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. Pay 1, tap. Each player adds red, black, green. Staff of Domination. Pay 1, Staff of Domination, untap it. Pay 2, tap, you gain 1 life. Pay 3, tap, untap target creature. 4, tap, tap target creature. 5, tap, draw a card. Then, of course, after using each one of these, you can just pay 1 to untap it to use another one. Humble Defector. Court of Cunning. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. The Monarch states at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. And at the beginning of your upkeep, any number of target players each mill 2 cards. If you're the Monarch, each player mills 10 cards instead. Fun.
Nice.
Oozy ooze. Slurk All Ingesting. It enters with 5+1/+1s. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature on target. If it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that has a +1/+1 counter on it. Partner. So this and another monocolored legendary boy can be buds and both be your commander. Rayhan, the last of Abzan. When it enters the battlefield, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever your creature you control dies, or it is put into the command zone, if it had 1 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target creature. Partner. Now the crazy thing is, this is a 2-colored spell, and that's pretty rare. So, Nymeris owns Trickster. Flash flying. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of those cards onto your hand and the other into your graveyard. And then our token.
Alright, second pack. Let's see. We've got the Monarch token for this pack. Our first card is Path of Ancestry. It enters the battlefield tapped, and it works kind of like a command tower, except better. Rummaging Goblin. 1/1 tap, discard a card, draw a card. Ancient Animus. Instant, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If it's legendary, then it fights target creature an opponent controls. Charcoal Diamond. Centennial Spider. 4/4 Vigilance Reach. That's pretty cool. 3 visits. Search your library for a forest card, put that card into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Patron of the Valiant. Flying when it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Ooh, that Cirque again. Tormod the Disintegrator. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token with partner. Scroll Rack. That's.
Love the scroll rack.
Does that mean I get a scroll rack too? Because now everybody else has a
Ooh,
scroll rack?
full art soul ring.
Nice. Jessica's Will. Choose one if you control a commander. As you cast a spell, you may choose both. Add 1 red for each card in target opponent's hand, and then the second one is exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Oh, Anara Wolvid Familiar. As long as it's your turn, commanders you control have indestructible. Zaganos, God of Revis. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, it isn't a creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. Ooh, Amaranth Illustrious. Flying when it enters, or when another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it shares a card type with that permanent, you may reveal that card and put it into your hand.
Not off to a bad start. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Armillary Sphere. Dragon Egg. What is up, dude? How's it going? Corpse Churn. Jalem Tome. Monday, yeah. We're feeling that. Scab Goliath. Open the Armory. Interpret the Signs. Alina. Kessig Trapper. A little further, there you go. Thanks for the advice. Hamza, Guardian of Arishin. 4 green, white, 5/5. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Archon of Coronation. Flying. When it enters, you become the monarch. As long as you're the monarch, damage doesn't cause you to lose life. Fleshbag Marauder. Promise of Tomorrow. Whenever a creature you control dies, exile it. At the beginning of each end step, if you control no creatures, sacrifice Promise of Tomorrow and return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under your control. Togo.
Oh man.
Yeah! Rock dude!
It's somebody's favorite commander in the etched foil. Derivi Imperial Tactician. Flying. When it enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent. Pay 4, put it onto the battlefield from the command zone. Kolfner, the Last You. Vigilance Reach. When Kolfner or another creature you control dies, return up to 1 other target creature card with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. Sweet, I don't think I've got a copy of that one yet.
So we're gonna mix it up some more.
Set a little further down. A little further down. There you go.
Aven Surveyor. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1, put a +1/+1 counter on him, or return target creature to its owner's hand. Angel of Dawn. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter. Creatures you control get +1/+1 counter, +1/+1, and gain vigilance until end of turn. Boarding Party Haste Cascade 6 phrase. Fidun Horn Elves, 1 mana, tap it for green, 1/1. Visir Seer, sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Golem Artisan. Target artifact creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Target artifact creature gains your choice of flying, trample, or haste until end of turn. Another full art soul ring. Taya Bearclaw. Whenever it attacks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. The Dragon again. Underground Stadium.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Whoop. Another one of those. Command Beacon. Taps for colorless. Tap, sacrifice it. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. That's a nice way of getting around that extra 2.
Or 4 or 6.
That too. Radiant Seer Sarah Archangel. So it's hard to see with this. Flying, tap another untapped creature you control with flying. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. 6/4 partner. Big Cascade.
Maelstrom Wanderer.
Maelstrom Wanderer. 5 green, blue, red. Creatures you control have haste. Cascade, cascade. Scary.
And then you put the green guy in that has Cascade, 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 Cascade.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're just cascading your
Cascade.
deck.
Oh, scary. Obeka Brute Chronologist. Tap the player whose turn it is may end the turn.
End the turn. Take control of their creatures and end the turn.
Dun dun dun. That's frightening.
What if you take control of their creatures until the turn and then end the turn?
Then you just keep them forever. Because the turn just ends. There's no end step. I'm not sure. I think if you cascade a spell, you can cascade it. I'll look it up real quick.
Alright, Defiant Salvager. Sacrifice an artifact. What?
Down.
Go down.
Oh.
There you go.
Defiant Salvager. Ooh, Preordain. Ooh, the Doomed Traveler. That one's fun. Fiery Cannonade. Trusty Pack Beast. Stinger Fling Spider. Ooh, the Thought Vessel. That one's a fun one.
Oh, I like that.
So, ooh,
Kagar.
Dargo the Strip.
Oh, Dargo.
Dargo the Shipwrecker. As an additional cast to cost a spell, you may sacrifice any number of artifacts and or creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each permanent sacrificed this way, and 2 less to cast for each other artifact, creature, or artifact or creature you sacrifice this turn. Trample Partner. Kezkit the Flesh Sculptor. Body of Knowledge. That one is cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Fact or Fiction.
Nice.
In the full art, that looks awesome.
Yes!
Flamkin Herald.
Commander spells you have Cascade.
Dude, that's so good. I love that.
Hamza, Guardian of Ashin. Ooh, Process Skyraider of Kadir. That's a cool card.
They reprinted a bunch of the top tier commanders in the foil etched. Etched foil, however you say it.
Arkalos, Lagoon Mystic. As long as it is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. As long as it's untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped.
Interesting. Really interesting.
So here's the important part about Cascade. When you cast a spell with Cascade, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card whose mana value is lesser than the cascading spell. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So since you cast it without paying its mana cost, then you get the Cascade triggers if that card has a Cascade trigger on it. So yeah, then put all cards exiled this way that weren't cast on the bottom of your library in a random order. So yeah, fun little way to just keep the train rolling.
Cascade, 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 Cascade.
Amorphous Axe. Inspiring Roar. Briarblade Adept. Perilous Mirror. Wild Heart Invoker. Burnished Heart. Temur Battle Rage. Prava of the Steel Legion. Elegith Crossroads Augur. I've not seen this before, so it's 4 blue for a 5/6 flyer. If you would scry a number of cards, draw that many cards instead. Oh, that's fun. Opposition Agent in the foil.
Whoa.
Oh snap, been looking for that.
Here, I gotta read that.
We have a request for a read. 2 and a black for a 3/2 with flash. You control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. While an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them. That shuts down a lot of stuff. Commander Sphere in the full art. Necrotic Hex. Sorcery, 6 and a black. Each player sacrifices 6 creatures. You create 6 tap 2/2 black zombie creatures. Creature tokens. Kelith, Sunmane Familiar. Whenever a commander you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it with partner. That's another piece that Ryan likes. Ravos Soul Tender. Flying, other creatures you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand with partner, one of the old partners. Kamal, Heart of Krosa, 6 green for a 5/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. 1 and a green, until end of turn, target land you control becomes a 1/1 elemental creature with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. It's still a land. And our token.
Oh man, we got a rock token.
Oh no.
I got a rock.
It's a great pack, we already know it. Starting off with Murder.
Murder.
Prophetic Prism. Annoyed Altist. Altasaur. Portent of Betrayal. Scrapper Dive Serpent. Explosion of Riches! Oh man, we gotta read this one. This is the best card in Commander Legends because it's so fun. So, 6 mana sorcery. Draw a card, then each other player may draw a card. Whenever a card is drawn this way, Explosion of Riches deals 5 damage to target opponent chosen at random from among your opponents. Oh man, that is so fun. That is so fun. It's like, you gonna draw? You gonna play the game? Whoa!
Time to play the game.
Oh, it's so fun. First respawns, enchantment at the beginning of each upkeep. If you lost life last turn, create a 1/1 white soldier.
Yeah, it's a fun. You're right, Jerry. It is a little funny kaboom like card draw game. Or are you asking if you should put that in Kaboom?
I still think both.
Both?
Yep. So, Alahar Solemn Ritualist. Legendary creature, human monk. When enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. Whenever a non-token creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Partner. Halana Kessig Ranger. Reach. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2. When you do, that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Partner.
At least if you put that in Kaboom, the players have the opportunity to get something out of it.
And they can just choose not to draw a card.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's no fun. And we're on to our next card. Aurora Phoenix. Flying Cascade for 6. Whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, return it from the graveyard to your hand. 5/3. Terramorphic Expanse in the full art. Soul Fire Eruption. So, 9 For a sorcery, choose any number of target creatures, planeswalkers, and or players. For each of them, exile the top card of your library, then Soulfire Eruption deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to the permanent or player. You may play the exiled card until end of your next turn.
That's definitely a kaboom card right there.
Period.
Period.
The Flesh Sculptor. Then, Vile Smasher the Fierce. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. It deals damage equal to that spell's converted mana cost to that player or planeswalker that player controls. Partner. Bella Corrupted Observer. At the beginning of each player's post-combat main phase, that player adds colorless for each of your opponents who lost life this turn. Then another soldier.
Alright.
Bell Bay.
We'll stack it up. And we'll choose the middle.
Thanks for the assist on the pronunciation.
Alright.
So we got 5 packs to go, including the one he just opened. Let's see if we can get a Jeweled Lotus in here. Come on, man.
Alright.
Let's see what we can do here.
Jonas, or is that Iona's Judgment?
Iona's Judgment. Yeah.
Iona's Judgment. Fleshbag Marauder.
Yeah.
Champion of the Flame.
It's an old character.
Deranged Assistant. Wild Size. Ooh, Noxious Dragon. That looks fun to play.
Oh, yeah.
Full Art Kumbaj Wishes. Witches.
Kumbaya.
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 Rebek. Architect of Ascension. Artifacts you control have protection from each converted mana cost among artifacts you control. And partner. Zara Renegade Recruiter. Court of Ire. When it enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 2 damage to any target. If you're the monarch, it deals 7 damage to that player or permanent instead. Boros Charm. Ooh. And the nice full art. Nightshade Harvester. When a land enters enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player loses a life. Put a +1/+1 counter on Nightshade Harvester. Imagine against a landfall deck. Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah. Shut it down. Let's go home.
Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator. Rakdos, Lord of Riots. You can't cast this spell unless an opponent lost life this turn. Flying Trample. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Livio Oathsworn Centennial. You can pay to choose another target creature. Its controller may exile it with an Aegis counter on it. And then tap 3 in this. Return all exiled cards with Aegis counters on them to the battlefield under their owner's control. That's fun. But not a Jeweled Lotus.
Not a Jeweled Lotus. So, Jerry, what do you think about Wizards injecting old characters from lore, old characters that were mentioned in text, just essentially creating cards for characters throughout Magic that didn't have cards before? I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Raise the Alarm, Ivy Lane Denizen, Prying Eyes, Eyeblight Assassin, Stone Fury, Meteoric Mace, Vow of Lightning. Yeah, a lot of the newer players don't get it. Luckily enough, there's enough information that goes around. Yeah, like Belbay, a very minor character. They're doing a lot of that where they take little minor characters or people that, down here in the text, Jared Carthalion, if he didn't have a card before, they're making a card for him. That's probably not the case on that card, but there's enough information going around the internet that people are bringing back that lore and pointing out where those cards came from and why they got their own card eventually. Another Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, a Nara Wolvid Familiar. Ooh, Rejuvenating Springs, got another tap land. Full Art Reliquary Tower. Mnemonic Deluge, 6 blue. Exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Copy that card 3 times. You may cast the copies without paying their mana cost. Exile Mnemonic Deluge.
Oh, where's mine?
Glacian Power Stone Engineer. Crom, Ludwig's Opus. Blim, Comedic Genius. 2 black-red for a 4/3 flyer. When Blim Comedic Genius deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of target permanent you control. Then each player loses life and discards card equal to the number of permanents they control but don't own. That's some hate right there.
You could put the aggressive minds in your deck just to troll.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. Yeah, the random legendary goblins.
It's a zombie.
Alright, come on, Jeweled Lotus.
Jeweled Lotus. So, flying 4/4 for 6. Crushing Vines. Crow of Dire Tidings.
Keep going.
Kite Sail. Skirmer.
I love that card, whatever it is.
Skirmisher.
Skirmisher. Spontaneous Mutation.
Is that what happened to your tongue?
Return to Dust. Breaches Bazin Plunder. Menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deals combat damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend this mana as though it were mana of any color to cast a spell's partner. Revia Master Smith. Whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, that creature gains double strike until end of turn. Sakashima's Protege. Flash Cascade with 6. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any permanent that entered the battlefield this turn.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna cascade a insane card and then have it be a copy. So 3 Vists. This, if we're talking about mean cards, this is a mean card. Plague Reaver. At the beginning of each end step, sacrifice each other creature you control. Discard 2 cards and sacrifice him. Choose target opponent. Return him to the battlefield under that player's control at the beginning of their next upkeep. That's just a mean card. Thalvis Shadowcat Familiar. Commanders you control have Menace and Death Touch partner. I think that the familiars are cool. Zedru the Great-Hearted. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanents that your opponents control. Pay 3 of his colors. Target opponent gains control of target permanent you control. Again, put Aggressive Minds in the deck just for trolling.
Yep. That's the original group hug commander right there.
Yeah. Lay Thine Bounteous Dawn, lifelink. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters on any number of other creatures. Target creatures. Rock.
So I think you may have been talking about this guy right here, Togo Goblin Weaponsmith. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Rock. With equipped creature has pay 1, tap, sacrifice Rock. This creature deals 2 damage to any target and equip 1. So you equip a rock to a creature and you pay 1 and tap the creature and fling rocks at any target.
I'm very tempted to make a little styrofoam rocks and just throw them at
Let's
things.
see. We're doing this one. So that when we fail, we can put all the pressure on Dad to get the Jeweled Lotus.
It's in there.
Alright, let's see.
Yeah, maybe we'll pull a Krark the Thumbless. That's definitely a weird goblin.
Very much so.
Alright, so we've got Pirate's Cutlass, Ghastly Demise, Demise, Encourage of Trest, Silverback Shaman, Valakut Invoker.
I know, that's another card that, has a lot of lore in Magic, and they actually made a creature card for, to represent the creature that all the lore comes from.
Mindless Automation, Fencing Ace, Radiant Sarah Archangel, Flying, tap another untapped creature you control. With flying, it gets protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Ghost of Ramiros de Pietro. Pietro. He's a spirit pirate. That's fun. Yeah! Profane Transfusion. I love this card. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta read it.
Arcane Signet.
Go back.
You gotta read it.
Read it.
Alright. 2 target players exchange life totals. You create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the difference between those players' life totals.
You get yourself to 1 life and they're at 49, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create a 48, and now you're at 1 life. You're good game.
Yeah. And then you put it in a pest deck where you just keep gaining life for whatever reason. Oh, it's pain. Yeah. Arcane Signet, Blade Griff Prototype. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, destroy target non-land permanent of that player's choice and one that your opponents control. Braylon the Moon Kraken. When it enters the battlefield or whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, you may return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. It's a 6/8. Thrashios Triton Hero. You can pay 4, scry 1, then reveal top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, draw a card.
No, Richard is not in my collection, Jerry.
Eligith. Cross. Wait.
Yeah, I gotta pull it out and show him.
Alright, it's all up to this one.
No pressure, no diamonds. Farhaven Elf. Howling Golem. Blade Brand. Sisay's Ring. Terramorphic Expanse, Intangible Virtue, Reclamation Sage, Togo, Goblin Weaponsmith, Glacian Powerstone Engineer, Kamal's Will, Opal Palace,
What?
Keeper of the Accord.
Oh, that one's fun.
3 and a white for a 3/4. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a basic plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
Oh yeah, you're way ahead of me. No, I'm just gonna catch right back up. Yep.
Abomination of Llanowar, Ramos Dragon Engine, Nostro Voice of the Crags, 1 blue, red, white. For a 3/3 tap, choose one. X is the number of spells you've cast this turn. Scry X deals X damage to target creature, you gain X life. And a golem token. So,
No duels.
no Jeweled Lotus this time, but we do have bonus round. Promo packs.
Bonus time. I want to open a silver quill. No.
Go ahead.
So, foil promo.
Don't show the arena code.
That wouldn't be smart. Gotta be very careful.
So we won these promo packs playing in-person events down at Dueling Land in Aurora, Colorado. Our friends over at Dueling Land also provided us with the collector booster box of Commander Legends. We purchased that over there. They've got a nice assortment of.
You just take it off. There you go.
Bam.
They've got a nice assortment of sealed product singles, lots of other TCGs.
Well, I mean, there's your silver quill.
Yep.
Yes, Snarl. I love the Snarls.
Snarly. So the snarly of Silver Quill, Rip Apart, and a floating castle from Fairy Tale Land.
That's kind of cool. It sounds fun and interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rare.
I mean, you gotta love those rare lands.
There's my Silver Quill.
I would like to open a silver quill.
Oh, I definitely did that.
Rip.
Literally.
Alright. Let's try this again. Sparring Regime. When it enters the battlefield, learn whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on a target attacking creature and untap it.
Hey man, I said that I want Silver Quill.
Carnage Tyrant. It can't be countered. Trample Hexproof 7/6 for 8. Or for
Have
6.
that card. Yeah.
Chillax, please. And then Wishclaw Talesman. When it enters the battlefield, wait, hold on.
Psych!
It's an artifact. It enters the battlefield with 3 wish counters on it. You can tap 1 and this. Remove a wish counter from it. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. An opponent gains control of Wishclaw Talesman. Activate this ability only during your turn. Kind of group fun.
Alright, I'm gonna do the regular Kaldheim pack before I do the foil pack. That arena code was right in front. Yes! Murderous Rider. I love this card. 1 black for a 2/3 with lifelink. When it dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. But you can send it on a journey. Or send it on an adventure. Swift and 1 black instant. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. So good.
On an adventure.
Mass Vandal, 1 green for a 1/3 changeling. When it enters, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Tybalt's Trickery. This card has caused quite the stir in the Magic community when it first came out. 1 and a red for an instant. Counter target spell. Red's not supposed to have counter spells. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then they put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library in a random order.
Red's not supposed to do that, but Red's not supposed to counter, but Red is supposed to kind of do that. I mean, it's Tybalt, and he's a demon god of terror.
Alright. Jolreal Monvuli Recluse. That is a mouthful from M21. Poison the cup, like this, for Tell, 1 and a black. Or 1 black black. Destroy target creature. If this spell was foretold, scry 2.
World
There it
Tree!
is, kids. Foil World Tree. The World Tree enters the battlefield tap for green. As long as you control 6 or more lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. You can play double Wooburg, that's white white, blue blue, black black, red red, green green, tap. Sack the World Tree, search your library for any number of god cards. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. That's quite the pull. Well, disappointed we didn't get a Jeweled Lotus, but we did have fun on the stream. Thanks everyone for checking out our stream, and we will see you again soon.